For this project, we would be needing the following materials: a 390 ohms resistor, a 5k ohms resistor, a 3mm LED, an IC741 that is an op-amp, some wires, AA batteries, a breadboard that should be at least this long, a battery holder that could hold the batteries, and tape. The tools we need are a glue gun, a blade or a cutter, a wire stripper, and a pair of scissors. We also need the following additional materials. First, a plain illustration board that is 10 by 15 inches. Then an aluminum foil that you can purchase from your local supermarket, and some cardboard strips. First of all, we place the IC741 on the breadboard, using the notch as our guide. Next, we take the 3mm LED with the longer side as the positive side and the shorter one for the negative side. We insert the positive side in pin 6 and the negative one to the negative rail of the breadboard, as shown. Next, we take the 390 ohms resistor. We attach one end to pin 3 and the other to the negative rail of the breadboard. Next, we take the 5k ohms resistor. We attach one end to pin 2 and the other goes to the negative side of the breadboard. We then place a connecting wire from pin 4 of the IC to the ground or the negative rail of the breadboard. Next, we take the battery holder and properly insert the batteries. We put them in series to create 6 volts to power our circuit. The negative wire of the battery holder connects to the negative rail of the breadboard, while the positive one connects to the positive rail. We take some connecting wires and link the negative rails of the breadboard, as shown. Next, we make our pressure plates. First, we must place the illustration board white side up on the table. We measure a part of the aluminum foil, leaving around an inch margin around the edges, We mark it with a pencil and cut along the lines like so. Then we place the aluminum foil on top of the illustration board and fix it with a tape. We have to make sure to flatten the foil as much as possible. This will be explained further in the video. We also tape the other sides of the foil to the illustration board, again making sure to flatten the aluminum foil as much as possible. So we have completed a part of our pressure plate. Next, we take a meter-long wire and strip 1 inch of one end. We spread the little wires flat as shown and tape it to one end of the corner of the aluminum foil. So we take some tape and fasten it to the corner. Next, we take out a cardboard strip and lay it flat on the table. We measure 1 inch width from one end of the cardboard strip to the other. Draw a line through these marks and cut along the lines to create 2 cardboard strips out of 1. For the next step, we glue the cardboard strips that we cut on the edges of the illustration board, again with the foil on the top. So using the glue gun, we fasten the strips to the edges from one side to the other and place something heavy to keep it in place. Then we continue to glue the other parts of the cardboard strip on top of the illustration board. We have to make sure to cover all the edges and fixing it on top of the wire. So now our panel looks like this. Again, we have to make sure that the aluminum foil is as flat as possible so that it won't protrude any further than the height of our cardboard strips. And then we create another part or a similar part to the panel that we have made using the steps we have done earlier. Once we have created the other side of our pressure panel, we glue them together as shown. And then we place heavy materials on top of them to secure them in place. For the next step, we take the wires and strip each end of the wires. So now we have completed one pressure panel. We need to create 3 more panels so that we have a total of 4 such panels. Then we separate the stripped wires as shown. We take the circuit that we have assembled earlier and place it on the table. We insert a connecting wire from the positive rail of the breadboard to pin 7 of the IC. We place one end of the wire of the pressure panel to pin 3, while the other one, we insert it on the positive rail of the breadboard. We expect the LED to turn on whenever pressure is applied on the illustration board. The blinking LED responds to the rate of the pressure applied on the pressure panels. Now we explain the concept of this project. At the right side of the screen, you can see a multimeter, which is set to measure the resistance. One terminal of the multimeter is connected to an aluminum foil, while the other terminal is connected to another aluminum foil. Now, if we lightly place the foils on top of each other, we can see that the resistance would come to about 1K ohms. However, if we apply pressure to the aluminum foils, the resistance would drop down to 1 ohms, or somewhere around that range. For the next segment, we place labels on top of the 4 pressure panels to indicate their use in the game. Now in our case, the 4 panels represent up, down, left, and right keys, hence the arrows shown. We glue the labels on to the illustration boards, and we also tape them to ensure that they are held securely. Now we have finished the hardware part of our project. Again, the 4 panels represent the right, up, down, and left keys. Next, we create 3 more circuits similar to the one we have created earlier. These are for the 3 other pressure panels. And we have combined it in one breadboard to make sure that it is more compact and easier to access. We also need to test each panel to make sure it operates as desired. So the LED will light up once pressure is applied to that respective pressure panel. Now we head to Arduino IDE. First, we initialize our variables. Then for the connections, we assign pin 6 of the arrow up panel circuit to the analog pin 1 of the Arduino Micro. The arrow down panel circuit, we place pin 6 to the analog 2 of the Arduino Micro. For the left arrow panel circuit, we assign pin 6 to analog 3 and the pin 6 of the right arrow panel circuit to analog 4 of the Arduino Micro. The rest of the code is available in the description box below. Once we have completed the code, we plug in the Arduino Micro, go to Tools, Board, and then choose Arduino Micro. And then we click the desired port. Next, we click Upload and wait for it to successfully upload. Next, we configure our controls. So in the game, go to Options, Configure Key Joy Mappings, and then we set the left key to key A, the right to key D, the up to key W, and the down to key S. The only thing left now is to try out the game. Pick the desired mode and level, and then try out your pressure panels. So now you have created pressure sensors as controller for a game. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe this video.